Okay, so I'm using the same e-liquid in the dripper that I used or I'm using the same e-liquid in the tank that I'm using in the dripper for the purposes of these tests. Essentially, it is pretty high in VG. It's probably right around like 90% VG, about 5% distilled water, about 5% PG, and that's only because of the flavoring. I don't add any extra PG to my e-liquids when I make them. Basically, this is just a Pro Tank 2. It's got one of the single coils in there at 2.2 ohms. I have modified this one. It's got some improved airflow going on because I like to take the big lung hits. I'm not like the mouth to lung vapor. I don't like that. But you know, it's very airy. It's nice to take nice big lung hits off of. I don't know, I could probably adjust the airflow back to somewhere closer to that, and we might try that and see if how much airflow actually plays a part in all of this. So we're going to run it at 3.7 volts at first, and then we're going to just go up from there and see what happens to the temperature of the vapor inside of the drip tip. And let me just take a look at that and make sure that that little wire is still sticking out there. Okay, so we are going to check the mod here. And the mod is reading 3.3 volts, 3.7 volts. There we go. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and run this at 3.7 volts. Okay, so that's maybe 6 is a peak, hovering around 4.4 rather. Interesting. So once that coil got warmed up, it was hovering more around zero point 0.6. So we're going to go ahead and increase our voltage here to, let's go to 4.1. How about that? Let's go to 4.1 there. Okay. Let's see what happens. Okay, so clearly you can, excuse me. Okay, so clearly you can see that, more voltage equals more temperature when dealing with the same sort of setup. So now that we've done that, let's go ahead and take it up to 4.5 volts. And if this doesn't completely trash this this coil's brand new, right out of the package. So if this doesn't completely trash this coil, we'll go to 5 volts. Getting lots of vapor. And do one more. Okay. So that was a little warm for my liking. It wasn't necessarily, I wouldn't call it a hot vape, but I would definitely call it a pretty warm vape. Lots of vapor production at that sort of temperature. So let's go ahead and I don't think this. We still have some e-liquid in there. So let's go ahead and take it up to 5 volts here and see what happens. This will probably trash the coil, I would imagine. 5 volts? Is that what that said? Yep, okay, 5 volts. Alright. Interesting. So, if you've ever seen some reviews of this mod here, it's not the most accurate mod in the world. When you're trying to fire 5 volts into a 2 ohm load, it's not exactly 5 volts, but it's as high as I can crank the power. It's probably coming in at more like 4.8 and maybe a little lower. To actually fire 5 volts into a load and actually get 5 volts, you'd have to have a much higher ohm coil, probably around 3 or 3.2 ohms, to actually achieve 5 volts. But the wattage is what is the wattage actually? That's a good question. So let's see here. Ohms law, and then voltage was 5, and our resistance is 2.2, and that comes out to 11 watts, 11.36 watts. So at 11 watts, it's definitely, for this setup, it's definitely pretty warm, a little bit warmer than I would like. Not out of the realm of possibility. Like, I could imagine somebody would vape that and be totally satisfied with that. Flavor was pretty good at 11 watts. That was kind of interesting. But yeah, so that's about the extent of this test. The next test is going to be sub-ohm dripping atomizer, probably right around 0.8 ohms. I can't imagine that it would be colder. I'll see you later.